Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om, I bow to the Lord Vasudeva. Joy to you, everybody. I want to read, I'm reading from the Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, and this is the sixth stanza or sloka. Lo tu, mighty Udhamanyu, controller over the inner life force or pranayama. Brave Uttamaojas, ojas, spiritual luster and power, developed through sexual self-control. The son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu, self-transcendent, and the sons of Draupadi. All these also Maharatis, formidable charioteers, masters of the senses. I have inserted parenthetical remarks to explain what some of these names mean, because the point is that the first chapter of the Gita is not what one would expect it to be. Most people do think it is, just a list of various now unknown warriors and chieftains in the battle, the war of Kurukshetra, but rather each one of them stands for a psychological trait. And this first one, we discussed pranayama before. The Uddhamanyu signifies control over the inner life force, which is the real meaning of pranayama. Brave Uttamaojas, ojas, or spiritual luster and power, developed through sexual self-control. This is a very important teaching which very few people, especially in the West, have any idea of. They think that sexual self-enjoyment is without a price. There's nothing you have to pay for. You just enjoy it. The truth is that this is the most vital part of the body, the essence of the body, which is able to create new life. And it's a very important part of the body. And sexual emission, you lose, my guru used to say that a man loses about the equivalent of 1 quart of blood with every sexual emission. It's extremely important to learn the importance for oneself of self-control. Those who do not follow self-control, and most people don't even know that it's an ideal, you see them at the age of 40 already washed out. The master called them sex washouts. It's difficult for women also, although they don't lose the fluid, they lose a lot of energy. And people who indulge in sex randomly and excessively become very much old before their time. It's important for mental clarity. It's important for health of body and mind. And you can remain young for many years if you have control over your sexual impulse. I have thought that it would be a wonderful thing, just as the American Indians have a sort of ritual when young boys achieve manhood, a rite of passage, so to speak. And so they speak, I should say. And that when young children reach puberty, they should be taught the importance of this life force, the importance for their own growth. Because they think of it as just fun, they waste their lives away. So in this ceremony, I would really suggest, it's something I've been wanting for years to recommend to our community, but we haven't gotten going with it yet, that we have a rite of passage for young children as they achieve adulthood, with some older people there to teach them the principles, have a ceremony that they will remember all their lives. And in this ceremony, give them the sense of the dignity of becoming an adult, that you have a responsibility now to your body, to society, and to be a clear channel. I remember when I was seeking God desperately, I didn't know what God was, but I decided that he must be an infinite consciousness, and that my consciousness had to be a part of that consciousness. And if that's so, then the more I was in tune with that consciousness, the more I felt clarity, understanding. The less in tune with it, the more I felt muddy-minded, unclear, and spiritless, without any energy. And sexual self-control is a very important part of attuning yourself to that higher being, that higher part of your own nature. So remember this, please, that if we're going to change society, and my life is dedicated to changing society in an upward way, to making it more God-remembering, then we must teach these principles of self-control, primarily sexual, although of course self-control in all ways is very good. Not to drink too much, not to eat too much, not to laugh too much, not to do anything too much, because always when you do so, what it does is spill energy outward. But the greatest spill of all is through sex. Therefore, learn the importance of being centered in yourself. And in order to practice this quality, and for many of you who are listening to this program, it may be late in the game to be hearing this advice, but I'm going to give it anyway. Don't look at people of the opposite sex with any desire. Try to look away. Don't look into their eyes too deeply. Don't shake hands with them, and try not to touch them. These are important principles, and you may laugh at them, but the laughter is your price, not mine. I know what I'm talking about, and if you want to live that way, you're the loser. It doesn't bother me. But Uttam Ojas, sexual self-control, Ojas is a very important teaching in yoga. The sexual seminal fluid, if it can be contained, can give you great power of concentration to succeed in life, to do anything you want to. The son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu, self-transcendence. And the sons of Draupadi are, of course, the Pandava brothers. Draupadi, as I said before, is the Kundalini power at the base of the spine. And when we can raise this power to the brain, then we find that we have increasingly, as each chakra is opened, opening a chakra means turning the energy, directing the energy inward through it and up toward the brain. You develop enormous power. Yogananda used to say that there is enough energy in 1 gram of flesh to keep the city of Chicago going with electricity for 1 week. Now, that's something. When you think of how little a gram of flesh is, you've got enormous power within you, but you waste it. If you can learn to turn this power inward, you will see that your potential for accomplishment in this world is on the level of genius. Remember these words. Joy to you.